This is, we're gonna go find some no copyright music. No copyright music in the background. And yeah, there we go. No copyright. No copyright music motivation. Subbed. Excellent. And we'll go with that. So we'll drop the volume a little bit. Perfect. Even though it sounds weird in these headphones, we're gonna go with it. And now that we've got that handled, we can take care of some stuff with this application. So, okay. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, sounds weird. All right, this sounds too weird for me. I think I'm going to switch over to my normal headset. All right, now I can actually hear the bass, and I can hear myself think. Perfect. That's strange. The audio is not actually coming through from the desktop at all. So let's see if we grab. Ah, there we go. All right, desktop audio is back online. So very good. And now that we're in here, take a gander at getting some stuff done. So let's start at the top. When we have servers, okay, so we're gonna go at server level. All right, we have a list of servers. That's makes sense. All right, we want to make sure that this works. Render, maybe. There we go. Good. All right, so we have a server here, and we're putting in a name, and we would filter the list, and we put in a description, we'd filter the list. Now on this side, we have a frame for the main content. On this side, we would have a frame for the summary content. So we're going to switch this in the list and switch up there. So we're going to go to the templates, and if we go down to our list view, we should find that this one is called summary pane, and the source will be coming from there. Save that, and then if we go over here, we can simply do that. Perfect. So this one does say navigation UI visibility is hidden. But if we give these frames a style, then we don't have to worry about that. So let's go ahead and do edit template, edit a copy at the frame style, and we'll do the application. And right now we're just naming it frame style, but we're gonna see where that goes. So frame underscore style, which is here. Very good. And it seems like the little tool to create stuff managed to put my frame style in the middle of something else. But it does seem like there was some default ones made up here. So this is a navigation window back button style, which is a type button, but not one that I would have named, because I name things a certain way. And then we have a navigation window menu followed by a navigation window menu item. Okay. So lots of things came out of this. So style, we have a bunch of brushes, gradient stops, like a ton of stuff here. We have another brush, a menu scrolling visibility converter. Okay, some geometry, apparently. Another style, another style. Okay, linear gradient brushes. It just uses so many different components for this, it can't just be easy. And we have a bunch of style control template. Alright, so here's my key, the frame style that I named. And then after that, we have a toggle button, followed by a focus visual. So all of this would have been in system styles. And these are then system templates. But these are all styles, not templates. And let's check on this one. This one's actually a button style that came through, and that's a system style that I left there. All right, so then this one is a color, and so we will want to split the system, or the screen for that matter. So we have our tab item colors, we have our list box colors, followed by our text box colors, and our combo box colors. Okay, more button colors as well. All right, and this is our region for colors. So this one here, solid color brush, is a menu color, essentially. So we're gonna make sure to put a new region in here for, okay, why isn't it making a region? Because this is C#, so we need to, or this is XAML, not C#, so we need to put in a region for menu colors. Okay, and that means we're gonna put in an end of a region, again with the same name as the region itself. All right, that way we know exactly which one we're in when we're at the bottom. So from here we have a solid color brush for menu. Okay, that one can go there. Then we have a converter, which we should have some converters up here already, but this one's called menu scrolling visibility converter. So we're going to take that and we're going to put that in the converters section up here. Now this one has a weird, it has a name, but it's not in the converters class. So we're just going to kind of leave it there for now. And then we have some geometry options, which is basically like drawings for buttons and whatnot. So we didn't previously have a geometry section, so I think we're going to need to put one in. And since our colors region, and then we have system styles. So what I'm going to do in a geometry, just like so. Then we'll do an end region for geometry as well. Okay, that means we can go down here, open up system styles again, take out our geometry that we just got as part of this. And we have our down arrow and our up arrow for geometry. Excellent. Now, this is where we end up with some different sort of stuff. Is this style is for a data grid type, but this is a system style, so we're leaving that one alone. And this one is for a repeat button type, which apparently is a target type for a menu scroll button. Okay. Now I haven't had anything of that type before, but again, that is a system style. So maybe we'll leave that one there. And we have another style that came from this. Okay, and then we have another journal entry unified view converter, which sounds like a converter to me. So we're going to put the converter up in the converters. Then we have more colors. So this is navigation window, navigation button, fill enabled, which seems to be the name of it. So that's going to go under colors. I don't know how specific. So we have menu colors, and these then are going to be navigation window colors, I do believe. So we'll put them in here. So region, navigation, window, colors. And region, navigation, window, colors. Okay, which is fine. So we got all of these navigation window, linear gradient brushes here. Um, this one says current entry background, which then goes to something else. But we'll put navigation window colors up here. All right, that's all fine. Just put a nice line break between them so we can see generally how many we have and what we're doing. Okay, so we have those. Okay, so we got navigation windows. Now down here, this one's looking at system colors is not a valid property for color. Not sure why that wouldn't be valid. It came down with this. System colors highlight color key. So let's find out where that's located in the project. It is the only place where this comes up. Okay, well that's kind of weird. But whatever. So that's a solid color brush, and that's for a current entry background. I'm not exactly sure what to do with that, but we have end region colors. Not sure what it's for, actually. So we will just put another one in here, I guess, and call the section region system colors. Okay. That there, and we'll do end region for system colors. Good. I don't know what to do with this one, but we're going to put it up here. Save. Alright, so we have that. Then we have multiple styles for navigation windows, and this is a menu item, menu, button, and a frame. But these are system styles. So, region, system styles, yep. So I do believe that these should just kind of stay put, because these are named something specific, and while they are buttons or whatever, we're gonna go with that. So we have these system styles, menus, menu buttons, menus, frames, okay, and a control template. So this one is system templates down below, which is where we kind of want this to go. So where is the template? This is the control template here. Okay, system templates. All right. Control template is for a frame, so that does come after combo box, which works for me. All right, and then we have our frame style, which we named, it's fine. And then we have a toggle button combo box toggle button, which is a system style as well. And so we'll simply take our style out of system styles, out of system templates, border styles, button styles, combo box styles, date picker styles, data grid styles. Alright, so this is where frame styles would go. Okay, and so that's a few things. So essentially it's a frame, has a template. The template uses a certain target type and has some background and some borders and some other crazy stuff in it. So we have a border, and then the border contains a content presenter. Okay, which is fine. That makes it pretty easy. And then we have some triggers. Okay. So this frame style is the style that I just made, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to say page section frame for a page section, and there's going to be a couple other setters that we put in here. So we're going to say setter property navigation UI visibility value is going to be hidden. Okay, that way anything that had any frame has this style tag shall automatically have that then. So then we can say style resource frame page section, just like so. And I don't have to worry about putting the other thing in there because it comes as a part of this. Okay, so we have it in template and we have it in SQL Server list. Okay, now inside of the template, for some odd reason, this one seems to take up twice as much room as that one does. This one has column 2 and row 2, and the border for the main content seems to have column 1, row 2. So it does seem like these are split into different regions. And I don't know if the third column here is set up it's in a grid, so we have our row definitions, which are easy, and then we have our column definitions. Okay, so that basically that far column has a min width, and this middle column has a width of 3 times. And then this one has a min of 100, a max of 150, and the width of automatic. So it will shrink if it's, you know, between 100 and 150. But it won't get too small. So that kind of makes sense. Let's make sure I got chat up. Perfect. Okay. And I do believe my laser is done. So give me one moment to reset the laser carving. So we will apparently lose all of our music and capability to even use a cable here. All right, music is back. Excellent. Good. Laser cutting again. Laser's cutting. All right, so that makes sense. The far column, the fourth column, having a min width of 200, and this column being 3 star, I don't know that that makes any sense. Kind of strange, I think. But yeah, so it says 1 star, and then this says 3 star, but it's not as wide. Like, I would think this one would be 3 times wider than that one. If I change this to 5 star, nothing happens. Okay. And there's no design width event, so that just seems weird. Alright, well, small glitch, I'm not worried about it. But what I do want to know about is this filtering. So when we're in our list, we want to be able to search items by a certain containment or whatever. All right, so we're going to get frame, page section. All right, and then our style tag should not be at the name level. It should be here. Okay, very good. So we have that. And when we go for our summary, which is this summary page here, which we're going with the summary page to display, I don't know that we have one, but it does mean we will need one. So in our template, we have our summary pane, view, and view model. And so I do believe we'll have to make a page, add page. Okay. Let's get that moving. SQL server, oops, summary. Yep. SQL server summary view. All right. So now the page exists. It should be in this folder. It is perfect. And now we're going to need a view model. So we're going to make a class, SQL server summary view model. Okay, that makes sense. So now down here in the summary pane template, it's like super tall and super narrow. This one says it's designed with 200, followed by a certain title. So we're going to grab the context and the grid. Just grab this. We're going to go to our view. We're going to paste that right in. Now, nothing appears on screen because we don't have the view model figured out. But we can fix that pretty quick. So we can type in view models. We can give the alias of VM. And all right, so we have that part. Do that. Our design width, I think we had it like 200 or something. So we'll say design width of 200. It's still not going to fix until we have this part done, which is then SQL Server Summary View Model. Okay, which has nothing in it, is my guess. So SQL Server View Model, yep, which is this one. And SQL Server, sorry, this is the template summary. Let's go ahead and grab all of that, and we'll go up here to SQL Server Summary, paste that in like so. Then we take the title of the class and make that the constructor. Save that again. Okay, close that, and we simply say build. Now it should, provided it's named correctly, give us a page with some basic controls on it. Okay, it built. Now our summary page has some stuff to work with. All right. So data context can be minimized. Then we have the title, which simply says summary. And then we have a text block. So this is looking at a text of summary numbers. I do believe that in our template, we had models and we had a summary model. Okay, so if we had a summary model inside of this one, then it might do something similar. So we don't have much in our summary model for our interface, but we can certainly use that. We can build one up, because every time we talk about these, or we talk about a quantity, or talk about a maximum, minimum, an average, etc. So let's go ahead and make a new model, add class, and it's going to be SQL Server Summary Model. Okay, that's pretty simple. Switch that to public so it can be used. I notify property change, just like so. And again, let's look at our template summary model. Grab our constructor, our interface notifications, and our interface and fields like that. And we will rename our constructor pretty easily. Okay, that part's done. Now, as far as properties and fields go, the summary for each table is going to vary a little bit. But I think the ones that we're going to use most are going to be, like we'll say, private integer, count records. We'll say public integer, count records. Okay, like we have that. And no, we don't need the if then here. We're simply going to say count records. No, count records equals value, notify property changed, just like that. And we don't need to mark it dirty, but we do need to receive the one with the lowercase. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so we have count records. All right. We might say max value or something along those lines, right? But this is count records. Okay. What do we do with count records? We have our template summary. So inside of our template summary view model, essentially, template summary pane view model, we would include one of the models for this. So we would simply say private template summary model equals summary fields. No, sorry, summary fields equals new template summary M. Okay. Why does it say I have a meeting? I do not have a meeting. Nope, no meeting for me. Okay. Oh, I want epic. Get rid of that. Okay, checking out one thing quickly. Alright, I'm back. I'm done checking that thing. So in this case, we have a private summary fields, which is a new template summary model. And then we're going to do a public summary fields, which is basically the same thing. We return that, and then we set that, and we do our notify property change, just like that. Okay, and that's pretty basic. Now, this means we should be able to set the view to this view model inside of the summary pane. Yep, and if we go to our template summary pane code behind here, we should be able to say template summary pane view model VM equals new, just like that. And then we would say data context equals VM, just like that. Okay, that should work. Yeah, we'll deal with that. So this is template code block. Yep, we're gonna close that down. So of course the question is, how do we populate that? My guess is this thing. All right. All right, well, so this gives us our count of records up here, which then from text, since we're binding it, we can just do binding summary fields dot count records. Okay, that's pretty basic. And then we can of course name the text block after that. So we have txb underscore count records. Okay, that's pretty simple. So, and we have that in the data context here, so that works. So I have a second one that I don't necessarily have a second field for, but yeah, that should work. So we have the same sort of thing in SQL Server Summary. We just have to be able to get data from it. So my guess is when we hit our apply filters button and this runs an event, the click event runs the get data inside of the view model. Get data basically goes up to actions and it says, hey, select my servers based on these filters, based on these standard fields that I have and based on these filters that I have, go select my servers. And if we go to the definition of this, this is where it sets up everything to run. So this one currently says like count of matching records from SQL Server, and the count is then supposed to have the where added to it. So down here, after all the filters get built, so we basically say, hey, if the filters are not null, we'll do a bunch of stuff, append the where to both of these. And then for select, we would have appending the order by. Now this first one just says ascending, it says it's 0. So that's irrelevant. And then it's going to limit it based on something else for the selection. And then it appends the count. So this is the count first, followed by the selection. Now the summary is probably going to have to be a different statement altogether. So in order to make a different statement, we can either run it as a completely different event, or we can run it in this event, and then we can just get the record at the same time. So in here, like the first thing it gets is the number of matching records. Well, maybe the first thing we want is the summary of the records, and then we can, you know, I'm thinking we would fill in a static summary object, and then the other page could go get the data from there. Or the summary might be static as a model or as a view model to kind of take a look. But that's essentially what it's going to have to do, because this is counting with that. So I think that's what we might do is get a summary that way. The question, of course, is the summary inclusive of filters. Because if we're trying to just say, hey, we have so many records, but how many records match our filters? And we could have both, right? One could just be a count of everything from the view. One, we could take the count from the matching records, because we have that value as well. Because down here, it does take the matching records from the list page fields. List page fields is a list model. And if we go to the definition of that, that's the inbound one where we're just like giving it that. Now, we could probably also send it a summary model, because if we go to the one place that this is being used, which is on the list view model has you know, the actions class, and it's calling it, and then it's sending in the view model. It's sending it from this view model, and the summary page is inside of this list. So we probably I wonder if the summary is a standard. Well, I mean, we could just do a view model inside of this. See, I don't know that I want to nest a view model inside of a view model, if that's even good practice, because it wouldn't go inside of the list page model, because this is the standard stuff that applies to all list pages. It's not necessarily a specific view model. But I could see us, because the page being displayed, populate page options. So list page options, clear, and then the page to display is from list page standard fields. So if we went to the definition of this, this is page to display. There we go. That's summary page to display. So this is just a page. It's a page to display model, which I made. Page to display model has a page, a data set, and a name displayed to the user. That's right, because we aren't really doing any of that. We have a summary page to display, which is a new page. So we're trying to determine like which page this is. And this is part of the list page declaration. So when this list page model is used for the SQL Server stuff, which is list page model, which is here, list page standard fields. When we make this list page though, would we specify like what the summary page is? Because the same place that it's used here with populate page options, we could populate the summary page as well. And that could work, right? So we would then say SQL Server summary view, and we'd call it summary page equals new SQL Server summary page, right? And then we would simply say list page standard fields dot summary page to display equals summary page, right? This is the summary page that we're choosing to get all the time, and that's part of page options essentially. So then the list here, this one's connected, is connected to summary page to display. This one is connected to selected page to display. This one's connected to summary page to display. So that should work. And the summary page has some controls on it, so we can identify it. No, that's the template one. So we're going to go up to the summary page. Yep, that one has this on it, correct? So we will then open that. See what happens. All right, so we go to our servers level, and we don't see see anything over there. Um, we should see something over there, but we don't. Why? Why don't we? So when we identify the selected page to display and we fill that in, it does a notified property change. The summary page to display also does the notified property change. So that should just like pop in. Frame, summary page, binding. Yeah, list page standard fields. Page to display is a page. Okay, but we can also put a style on this. Resource, frame page section. Alright, so it still hasn't popped in. And we can make that. So summary page, and we do have page to displays selected, so we should get summary page to display. There's got to be something I'm missing. And so we'll go here. So the list gets cleared, that gets added, selected gets set. This one is this. So SQL Server Summary is a new SQL Server Summary, right? And let's go ahead and refresh that. We're going to see if it even gets to that code. And it could just be something else that we screwed up. So we got summary page here. All right. So we notify it's changed, which is fine. We knew about that. All right. And we go on and we have populate page options, filters, and get data. So we would then hit continue and we still see no data. All right. So I guess what's different about the two sub pages? So if we went to the summary view versus the data table view. So we can go to our data grid view, and this one has a loaded event. Summary does not have a loaded event. All right. And then this one's context is SQL Server Summary, which is fine. That part is there, but there's no loaded event. So the loaded event here, what does it do? It basically gets the data to be displayed. So let's put a loaded event over on SQL Summary. So we'll do loaded, page loaded, go to definition, put that in here. Okay, we're just going to replace that whole thing, and then this says VM get data, but SQL Server Summary page doesn't have a definition of the view model. So we can then say SQL Server Summary view model VM equals new SQL Summary Server view model, and then we have data context equals VM. Okay, now we don't have a get data thing, but we do have a page loaded event now. So let's go ahead and refresh that and see if the summary view will pick up on the view model and actually display for me. So we got to here. All right, we know that that happened. We know that this happened. We can take the breaks out. And again, we still don't have anything being displayed. Like nothing. Which is a little weird, I think. So if we went to our summary model, yeah, we have that. We go to our summary view model. There it is. I notify property change. There we go. I'm willing to bet that's it, because we have the interface notification down here, but we weren't utilizing it. So we're going to refresh it. Okay, and we go to our servers. We got it to here. Excellent. We go here. We still do not see any data. All right, so we go to our view, right, which is our summary. Got our view model, the property change, change notification. We have our view model, which is fine. So we have a view model, but wait a minute. So when we look at our summary view, it is looking at the view model, which is fine, but the view here is looking at, yeah, and it's got the data context, which is fine. So it should just say summary, count of records, and whatever. I mean, there's really not much for it to display. There's no data, anything. It just needs a copy of the thing. SQL Server Summary View Model. Yes. Go to definition. This has this. This has this. So maybe it needs to be public. Don't know for sure, but we're going to try it out anyway. So we have that. We have that. This, this. Go again. The category of the stream is still satisfactory. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see if I can change that then, because that shouldn't have been the case. Let me see. That's on Twitch, I'm guessing. You gotta. That shouldn't have been the case. Let me see. That's on Twitch, I'm guessing. You gotta. Why is. All right. That's super fun. Why is. All right. That's super fun. So the category I'm trying to get underneath is software and game development, but it's not, go here, stream manager, yep, edit stream information, okay, get rid of that. Software and game development, there we go, done. Close that. Yep, software and game development now. All right, works for me. I appreciate the heads up there, thank you very much. Yep, took me a hot minute to find it on Twitch, but works for me. Okay, and my music. Chat, perfect. Thank you very much. Apologize if you came to here to see satisfactory and you see me just messing with software. It's not what you were expecting then. All right, so let's see. We go to servers. All right, we get down here. That part happens, but it doesn't do that. All right, so in here, when we assign selected page to display, we go to the definition and it notifies the property changed, whatever. But here, summary page to display, it should do the same thing. It should be a new page. Selected page to display is value, summary page display, notify property changed. That part's all there. It's annoying that I'm not getting the page to show up, but if it gets down here and so that's summary page to display. I wonder if maybe the view is just not bound correctly. So we're gonna grab the list. We have SQL Server list, we have the rows, we have the border, we have the filters and actions, we have the buttons. Main content is here. Summary content is the next one down. So we're missing a line, it seems, but we don't need this line anymore. Okay. And then we have binding, list page, summary page to display. Style is frame section. That part's all good. Frame, grid, and then style is left nav pane. Grid column 1, row 2, column 2, row 2. There shouldn't be anything over the top of it. Frame, summary, content. So this one's looking at a model called page to display model, and then this is a page. This is just a page at this level. So that should just work. Entity framework for database operations. Might be lack of familiarity. I mean, there's possibilities in using anything with the right familiarity. I think at this point it's just interface problems and binding issues, but it's partially me just learning how to control multiple subpages and stuff like that. But when I get into the database operations side, you'll see how I'm managing like data and movements of actual data instead of just interface components here. But if I grab, so let's close that again. So we got, I'm always willing to learn something new. Sometimes it's just a matter of building on what you know. Okay, so we have the border and the border, both of those are doing the same thing. So if we go down here to the definition of this, where we set up the page to display, it does the same things, and this one has iNotify property changed. Good. So if we go to here, go to definition, this one has iNotify property changed, and it has a page class. And then at the top of this one, it does have that as well. So I don't know why it wouldn't take the value and just display what I'm trying to give it, but it doesn't seem to like it. So this ends up being a new SQL summary view, and I am certain there's something goofy. So we have a SQL Server Summary view page. So let's take the data grid and data grid view model. Yep. So this has stuff in it. Data grid view model. Yep, fine. And then in the data grid view, this has the data context, which is fine. And then the binding is set up here. Page loaded says go to definition. So page loaded says view model, go get definition. And that's set up the same exact way. yeah, SQL Server data grid, view model data grid, fine. I'm sure it's something goofy that I'm missing, comparing the data grid to the summary. It always is. Just something stupid. So we have loaded, we have the view model, we have the data context. Okay. And then we have the code behind. Okay, so the code behind on here looks the same. Data context equals view model. Data context equals view model. New SQL Server summary. Yeah. So I'm missing like a using statement or something goofy. No, shouldn't. Make field read only. There's nothing wrong with that. It should work. All right. Well, I think I'm getting dragged down the friggin' rabbit hole here on how to make something function that I don't need right away. So instead, we're going to go do something more useful. So let's take a look. If we open up the system itself, we can go to our creation statement, and we can go select our table, or sorry, our server, and of course it stops there because I never launched my server. Yep, so we need configuration manager and error handling. Okay, server's on. Excellent. We can go back into here and we can take that out. We'll go continue. All right, so we're on our servers list. We don't need to do that. Go to interface creation, go to table selection, we pick our server. Now that the server's online, it picked the database because it's the only one we have. It picked the schema because it's the only one we have. And then we have a bunch of tables. So from our table, we would pick, our table, and then we could pick a related SQL view. And then we have which steps do we want to do? We want to do all the steps. So we have that. We'll work on instructions later. Table information, we want to update. So this is going to be reliability, quality group. Okay, and the caption, okay, has spaces. And then we can go to our important fields. So what is our primary key? Well, if we download our fields, we should see that we have that one. Now, these should fill in almost automatically because they're typically always named the same things. Like record added timestamp is record added, and then record added by user is record added by user. Or added by user ID, and then record modified is record modified, and record modified by user is then last modified by user ID. Soft deletes are used, soft delete field is deleted, record deleted timestamp, we have record deleted by user is then deleted by user ID. Okay, so we have those fields set up now. We go to our field information, and it tells us that something is outside of the bounds of the array, which field name for C# code, it's essentially trying to build the field name based on lower first, and it's only being used in one place, which is here, and it's trying to figure out, the field names. But this one doesn't have one. Data type for C# code, field name for C# code. This is the only place that this is used. Go to definition. No, it's not the only place that it's used. find current project. All right. Data text column is bound to this, which is fine. That's essentially why it's freaking out right away is it got the field name for the C# code, and then it's saying, hey, I'm trying to update this right away. And then it's trying to go get that, but that requires the field name to be longer than 0. So that's where we can then basically say if field name toString dot length is greater than 1, then do this, and then return SB to string. All right, continue. Same problem. And we would have to have this. Continue. Refresh. Okay, servers. Run list again. So new creation, table selection. We should be able to quickly pick our table for liability quality groups. Steps to complete, all again, table information has been saved, important fields, mostly been saved, modified, and soft delete still needs to be reselected, and now we have field information where it's not putting it in because we don't have it. And the field name, I don't seem to have, so I got default value and default value. And then we got caption. So we're gonna have to fix that. So let's go to interface creation, new view. We have our field information. So we have field caption, default value, field name for C# code. Okay, so field name for C# code, which is somewhere in here. Yep. So we would then call it field name for C#. Okay, we got default, field caption, description, lower first and upper first. And neither one of those is really needed to display in here, but those are the variable names, which just makes it a lot easier to work with for me. Okay. So now we can go into creation, again, grabbing our table. Down here, reliability quality group, steps to complete. We're going to say all table information we have saved in important fields. These we're not saving. That's annoying. Field information. These are here, which is fine. And then if we had field name for C#, the field names that we want to change things with are like reliability. Well, why did we? I have another breakdown here. All right, continue. We have another breakdown here. Continue. All right, so field name, like here, would be reliability, quality, group name, which is the same as its current field. And so here it's saying, yep, we found it, yep, we got it, and it was saved. Good. So then this one has the lowercase, and this one has the uppercase. So that works for me. And essentially, this field name for C# is going to be the field name from SQL, subtracting spaces and symbols and crazy crap that we can't use in C#. Essentially. So that makes sense. Um, so I guess the question is, like, we should probably be able to fill in the default field names. We should be able to save the important fields. And then on the new record page, we would have a bunch of fields like web. Yep, I wanted that. All right. So this one is trying to fire then, okay, to save that. And then we have reliability quality group number. And again, we're choosing to save that, which is fine, because then those options should auto select in the future. So then we have our list page. And yes, we would want this as a list, and we would want this in the list, because if it is a filter, we probably want to show it in the table. Not necessarily always the other way around, but we do have that. So we have the number, and then yes, we want it on the list as well. Then we need to go into control types. So in order to do control types, we need a list of types of controls that we can use, such as text boxes, combo boxes, date fields, numbers, etc. And then we have captions. So we would just like, this one is RQ group. Okay, not super specific, but that's how they're doing it. And then this one is RQ group Espanol, which again, stupid, but it works. So, and then this is RQ group number. All right, now a couple of things I'm not liking about this is that when I click into it, it puts the text at the top of the box instead of keeping the padding consistent, because that's probably the editable text box that goes with it, but it does seem to line it up after I get out. Then, okay, we have a destination folder, which if we click our button, our browse button doesn't work. Our detail record page. Now, these are saying yes already, even though I didn't select detail record page before. So my guess is it's reflecting the list record page, which is the wrong field. And then stored procedures, as we go through these, we need names for those stored procedures. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. And then where are we saving help tips? If we're saving help tips, where are we saving, or where do we have to get permissions from if we have to do permissions? And then this is the model, what template it's going to use, and then we're going to tell it to go make some stuff happen. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have to get these to save. So record modified timestamp field needs to save. And so we're going to close our templates. We're going to go to interface creation. Here, view, new. All right. Table information, important fields. So record modified timestamp has to be slightly different. Selection changed. Go to definition. And this one says save SQL table changes. So we go to the definition of that, and this one updates our SQL table. Update, go to definition of that. So expanding this, it looks like we're record modified, record modified. Record modified is here, record modified is here. Okay, let's put a break on that. If we go to our view model, sorry, our view, are they bound the same way as the fields above it? So we know that these save. We need to make sure that the windows split. All right, so we're comparing added by user, which is this one, to modified by user, which is this one. I can already see I'm missing some fields here. So we have input control as a style, input source as the list of table fields, display member path, selected value path. Okay. selected item, record modified timestamp field. Okay, but that's selected item. Selected value also needs to go in. Selected value, binding, new record, dot SQL table, dot record modified timestamp field, dot field ID. Okay, which gets us more in line with this. The selected item is that's fine, and then is enabled is based on the Boolean converter, and the selection changed event happens after that. Okay, so that might make sense. And then we would go to our next field, and I think we have the same problem. We have a select, whoops, Control Z, copy. We have a selected value path, yeah. And then we have a selected item. We don't have a selected value. And selected value is very, very similar to this, except it goes down one level further to get the ID, and then is enabled and selection changed. Okay, that works. And then is soft delete field used? Soft delete field, same exact problem. Okay, copy that one, put that there. All right, and then we have a selected value. Right, which we just take this field, put that there. All right, same sort of thing. And then again, record deleted timestamp field, thinking we'll have the same problem all over again. Okay, selected value. Which is fine. And then we have selected item is enabled, select is changed. Yep. Go down one more level. Same problem all over again. Just copy that. We then have selected value once more. My laser is finished again. So I'm going to go finish resetting that. So SQL table fields, selected item is enabled, selection changed. Yeah, so we have all those items. So my question, of course, on this is, does it actually save to the database? We're going to Right. Gotta reset it. Okay. So we have those now. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up SQLite Studio to check on the table and see what's being saved. So we can go to our SQL tables and go to our data. And the one that we were looking at is record number 6 here, reliability quality group. And it does appear that all of the values have fields that have been saved. So that means they should come back into the page. Yeah, should. Okay, so we can go to interface creation, table selection, pick our server. Okay, pick our table. Items to complete. We're going to say all table information. We have our table important fields. They did not come in. Okay, well, we know they exist, so it must be in the actions when we're either pulling information about a SQL table, maybe we're not loading it or not getting it or something is wrong. So this is the update, and update seems to work. We did save to the server. I think maybe when we got the information about the table, yeah, this one is getting the parent, getting the table, but not getting a whole lot of other information. And my guess is whatever we're using, probably this one here, where it says, hey, go get SQL tables. It has a table name, description, SQL table ID. Okay, so this one just gets a collection of SQL tables based on a parent schema and gets the super simple ones. It's are selectable, but it's getting added, modified, and deleted. Down here, it's got the added and modified. It's got added, doesn't have modified. So I think we just got to tweak it. But it's probably the same general concept. So let's split this. All right, make sure we're getting the data. So we're getting added, we're getting modified, and then we need to get deleted as well. So we have those 4 fields. So we're going to grab these 2 fields here, which is added by user and added timestamp. And then we're going to paste them here. We're simply going to switch out some of the terminology. So the first one was added by user, and I think we would do modified by user. So just take the word added, replace it with modified. There. So now that would be modified by user SQL table field ID. Yeah. And then modified timestamp field name, right? Which is the same thing. So this is just another field that we need a name for in order to fill in the dropdown. So we could then switch added up here for modified, okay, which is fine. And then we have the next one, which is modified timestamp SQL table field ID, which we can then put that in, and field name, like so. All right, because this is timestamp field name, record modified timestamp field name. This is record modified. Wait. No. Record added by user, SQL table field ID. Added by user, field name. Added timestamp, field name. SQL table field ID. So essentially, it's record modified by user. This one. We swap out the last part of SQL table field ID to field name, like so. Okay, and then this one doesn't have to have SQL table, it's just field name. Timestamp, field name, and then same with this one, which is deleted. Okay, field name, like that. And then this one is same problem, deleted by user, field name. Okay. And I'm pretty convinced that the soft delete field we have is soft delete field present, yes or no, soft delete field ID and soft delete field name. So those are also already there. It should be saving those. All right, then we have modified by user field. And then this one is modified by timestamp, modified timestamp field ID, timestamp field name. Okay, so that part works for modified. And so this is added timestamp, modified by timestamp. Okay, and then deleted timestamp. So we just take those same fields, paste them down here, swap out the words modified with deleted. We do that. Okay. Close that. Excellent. So we close that, and we can put a break here, and we're going to put a break somewhere in here because my guess is I'm probably going to have an error of some sort. Now it's trying to get it all from the view SQL table. So we're going to go to our Sqlite view, okay, v SQL table. And yeah, so we have the added timestamp field name, and then we would need the modified stuff as well. So this one is soft delete field added by user, added by timestamp field, and we probably just need to do the same sort of thing. Yeah, we'll do it, I think, one at a time here. All right, so we paste another one in, and this one's going to go off modified by user, which is this one. And I think we're going to switch this to here. And again, we will switch everything that says added to modified, record modified by user. And then that's this one. Okay. So from modified by user, which is this one, we should be able to take this same line here and then swap out the words added for modified. Record modified by user field name. Okay, that's modified. Then the same one for timestamp. Okay, and see if we have, oh, we don't have that. So we're gonna go back. So we don't have a control H here. So we'll do modified. 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 Okay, and that's record modified timestamp field. And then we'll take the next two. And this one's going to be record deleted. 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 Okay. And then same with here. All right, this one. Your Uzbekistan. Okay. Um, could be a country, but we'll go with the fact that it's just a translation error, and you're saying that you're from Uzbekistan. So nice to meet you. Um, glad you're enjoying the music, I guess. So we got record deleted. Timestamp table field, record deleted timestamp field. That one works. So let's go ahead and save that. All right, now we can go to our data and we can scroll over and we can see now that it has 40, 41, 44. Okay, so this, yeah, it's just not pulling the fields yet. Not pulling the fields here. So we need to pull the fields there, there, and there. And so this is modified by user, and then modified by timestamp field. So after the first one, which is this one, yep, SQL table field name is record modified by user, field name. No. Record modified timestamp. Timestamp field name. Okay. So then these are deleted. So we'll have to take record deleted by user, which is then this one. Record deleted by user field name. Okay. And then same sort of thing, which is then we'll grab this field name, put that here, move the word added, make that deleted. Okay. And then we will switch record deleted by timestamp field, which is that one. So we have record deleted by user, SQL table field ID, followed by the SQL table field name, which is the record deleted by timestamp field name. Excellent. So we'll save that data, and then we'll check our far side here. So we have record deleted, deleted by user, all of those things seem to work. Perfect. Great. Now, if we went to our interface and went to our main menu, let's go ahead and just rebuild, because we had a bunch of changes going on here. Here, table selection, this one. All right, so we got to this point here. Continue. All right, so it's making it through without an error. So my find and replace might not have been a bad thing. We'll grab a reliability quality group, and we now have a bunch of fields. So soft delete field didn't seem to come through the same way. And soft delete fields used didn't seem to come through the right way either. So let's check the studio. Let's check the data, refresh the data. This is the field we're looking at. And there is a field in here called is soft delete used? Yeah, it's right here. So this is the soft delete field, and this one is going to be the soft delete field name, and those two aren't being saved apparently. And we probably want to know also, like, is soft delete being used? You, the anti-ad ad block thing on YouTube is getting. We need that field name, which again we'll go over to soft delete SQL table field is. So we have that one, and we'll go down here. So we have then soft delete SQL table field ID, soft delete SQL table field. Yep. Otherwise, this variable gets a null value. So we need to make sure that we have this variable up here, and we have that. So now we can grab soft delete field ID. Just grab it one time, soft delete field ID. Yep, I was clicking too fast. So we have the ID number for the field. Okay, so those two should work. This is on the update side of things. Now, just a little while ago, we also changed, I think it was the select or one of the other ones. Maybe it was the list. Yeah, list SQL selectable. So we should have a field of is soft delete field present, soft delete table field name, and then field name. And so is soft delete table present is here, and then this is for the added by SQL field, timestamp, modified, modified, deleted, deleted. Okay, so same sort of concept, except now I need one for the soft delete field. So I think we'll take this, I think we'll take this one here. We'll paste that down and go to our SQL table, which is then looking for soft delete SQL table field ID. Okay, so if soft delete SQL table field ID is not equal null value and soft delete field name, okay, this one is different. So, all right, so first it's not null and it's greater than 0. Then it's going to make a SQL table field of soft delete. So we'll take record deleted by user essentially out. We'll say soft delete. Yep. We'll just take everything that's in here and replace that within the selection. Place that. So now we have soft delete table field, which is a new field, soft delete field ID, soft delete SQL table field ID, and soft delete field name, which I think matches. Yes, it does. So record soft delete SQL table field is soft delete SQL table field. Yeah, so that's the property, and that's the, yeah. And so we can actually call this soft delete SQL, soft delete field or something like that if we wanted to, but it does seem to work. So this gets it on the list, save, and it is up here, soft delete field name. So it should be pulling. Let's go ahead and try it again. We're going to verify that it is actually coming down. So we have a table, server, bunch of information, reliability quality group, and table information and important fields. Okay, so the only two that it's not doing is this one, which should be that one. Okay, and this one, soft delete field, is deleted. Again, same thing, SQL table field changes, that should go through. So let's double check the table data, refresh. We have our table here, and we can say, yes, it's present. Okay, and soft delete field name is deleted, soft delete field ID is field number 45. If everything is correct, the next time I come into here on another one and I pick the same table, that same for me automatically. So we can go to reliability quality group, tables, all table information. We have those important fields. We have those. Those are filled in. That is fantastic. Okay, so that works. Now we have field information, which we basically have to assign field names for C# that aren't going to violate anything. And I'm not sure the rules for renaming stuff to C# from SQL, but I think for now, yeah. So we might need to generate the captions, generate the subjects, And we still need to obtain the default values of these things for the field names. The default values aren't showing up, but the server knows if there's default values, like some of these things. And then we do have whether or not they are nullable or not. But captions are pretty straightforward. They need to be able to take off anything ending with ID. And maybe we have a button or a command, an action that generates the captions, kind of goes through the list after it's been obtained and sets them up. That could be an option. Inside of the new record page, the ones that we selected already are here. I think we need something above this grid, maybe buttons, like fill in the rest for no or fill in the rest for yes, because we would want to answer all of the questions. We need captions for anything that's going to be there. And if I put a caption in here, I know I put a caption in before, and it did not seem to pick up on it. So are captions not being saved? Right? Field captions. So let's go to our SQL table field actions here. Okay, and we have an update event, which we have field captions. We have field captions being saved here. Okay. So that's this one, update field no prompts, which is fine. So I guess the question is the caption box bound correctly? Because if we go to, say, here, we have field captions. All right. So data grid, field name, field caption. It seems to be bound, but I don't think it's saved after it changed. So let's go to the definition. Okay, so this says mark dirty if loaded. And we have field descriptions, which are fine. And then parent table, again, same problem. Field caption, which is here, is nullable. Is nullable yes, is nullable no, is nullable text. Field name for C# code. So all of this type SQL Server, if it's read-only, it's not read-only. So we have a bunch of stuff going on that could mark it dirty. Just marking it dirty versus actually saving it. And if I check on the toggle buttons, so so this gets me to the binding for the SQL table fields. But I guess what gets us behind it to actually run the event? And if we were in the new code behind SQL table field no prompt. So this one says cell edit ending. So if I'm done editing a cell, it runs the save no prompt. And if my selection changes, it runs it no prompt. Okay, so that makes sense. And then the toggles, is it to be created? New record page to be created. Like if it's being added to the new record page, then it's also saving it no prompt. So essentially, like any sort of thing I could do does save new record. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. So this, oh, is, okay. Oh, that's not a bad thing. This is the data grid cell edit ending. Okay. And then the data grid selection changed again, SQL table field, no prompt. So inside of this one, it calls the actions. Go to definition, and then in here, it first finds out if it's dirty, and if it's not dirty, and the prompt is supposed to be shown, then lets the, that handle it, and that comes back, and then if show prompt is true, then it asks if they want to save the changes. Okay, and I can put some brackets around this so I can minimize it. And then we do this stuff. So we have the caption, the description, all of that jazz. So I guess the curiosity is, why wouldn't the caption be saving? Field name for C# code is here. Is on new record page is here. But if I went to my SQL table field here, went to my data, okay, and I went down to like field 45, which is the is deleted ones. So I have a field name, but I don't have a caption. Like I'm getting blank values for field caption, and I have a blank value for field description. Okay, so we have field caption and field description here. That's curious. Okay, let's figure out why that might be. And my guess is because when it pulls it down, it has the wrong one. So if we went to table, let's grab the same table. We can take this one off because that's fine. This is so annoying. Ad blockers aren't allowed. Well, yes, they are. Caption is here, and it saves it. All right, and go to our SQLite. Let's refresh it. It's record number 45 or so. All right, that's our caption right there. But I don't think it's pulling down the fields the right way. So if we grab list, SQL table field, SQL table, which is this one, we have a field caption, we have a field description. Down here though, we have field caption, we have field description. Okay, so that one's getting it. I'm curious if we ever actually getting to here. But, so this one has one reference. And then go to an update, delete, get, select, add. Interesting. Check SQL table field exists in SQLite. Download SQL table fields. All right. But this won't really matter. Okay. It's fine. Let's go back to here. So we have the field name, right, for the caption. And we say reliability quality group name. Okay, just like that. And at that point in time, it should save my caption. We check on SQLite, we refresh it, record number 45 or so, sorry, 47, it has the caption. Good. doesn't have a great description, but it has a caption. So if I go out to our menu, go back into our creator, pick our table again, okay. So we are now inside of what? The select? Yeah, we're exactly where we thought we would be. So now field caption is blank. Well, it's not blank on all of them. Go to our fields then. Okay, so it did pull it down. I wonder if it not saving was just a glitch. Kind of strange, but it seems to be there now. So we have the field name for C# code. If it's on the new, if it's on the filter, if it's on the data table, if it's on the detail, all of those things are here. Then we have the parent. Okay. Ugh. Tired. All right. So that means we have some of the table filling itself in. What we needed to get to, hey, we have them on a page, and we're gonna say go to the new record page. This page, we need to know what kind of control it needs to be for the new record page. Combo box or text box or whatever. So we need to know our control types, and we need to have a field here. We need a field in the table in order to map that. So let's go to our SQL table fields, and this says is on new record page, and then this says interface control type. It shouldn't be a different interface control type for different pages, but it might be. Because a new page could be editable. Well, I mean, I guess for now, we just need interface control types. Let's start there. So what kind of control types do we have? We don't have any. So we need to make sure we have those things. So let's close out of all this. We go to our interface control types. We have our views, view models, models, and actions. This is how we can enter interface control types into the system. So how can we get to this page from anywhere? Let's do a find within the project on this name. So this appears that we have a button, a detail, basically saying, hey, if we have a list, go to the list. Okay, and then this is the top of the page. This is the top of the page. Just fine, but do we have anyone who's just trying to go to there? So this is the main menu view model. So we seem to have an event for interface control types. Go ahead and close all. Let's go to our main menu. Okay, and then we have interface control types. Very good. So we can make a new interface control type, and apparently we can't, because our view does not have anything on it. So we need to fix that. So we have our page with nothing. We have our new view model with nothing. All right, let's try our templates. So we go to our new page, just like so. Okay, and we have our data context and our grid. We'll go out to our new page, and we will replace the content of this with that. And we just need to do a couple of minor tweaks to make that work. that's the new view model. Okay, so now that we have the new view model in place, we do need to know what goes on the new view model. And this is our template. So we can just take the entire content of this, and we would go to template new view model for our interface control type. So we will take this, paste that in. Okay. That's now our constructor and our interface change notification. That's a permission note. And then we end up with everything that's calling a template. So we're going to replace the word template with interface control type within the current page. Yep, place that. Excellent. So in here we can then do features dot interface control type, and we will simply take these things. Okay, interface control type. Okay. And then anything that says the full interface control type model, we can simply remove the word model and do _m, and that should find the model there. So this is the new record. Okay, this is the actions, this is the navigate function, which is good. This is saving a new record. Okay, so that should call the actions, and that should save it, and that'll cancel the pop-up. Okay, let's save that. Let's make that do something. All right, so now that we have the view model, we need to go back and we need to restructure the view. It wouldn't be easy without it, right? So when we're talking about an interface control type, we only have a few items. We have its name, we have its description, and we have its prefix. 3 fields. I think we have those same 3 fields on the detail view. Yep, we do. So all we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to get those exact same components, stack panel, and we're going to go to our new view here. And if we simply take the border, the same stack panel that we had before, we're going to overwrite it. Boom. So now we have type and we have that stuff. So everything in here has to be slightly repositioned, of course, because why would stuff paste lined up? We have basic data. Okay. This one, I mean, we don't really need that. Okay. And then interface control type name. Okay. Just fine. Minimize that. And then everything that says current interface control type, I think we can replace just with new record within the current document. Boom. New record. Oh shit. This is the, I'm affecting the template. Alright. No, don't want to affect the template. Okay, this is the template. We're going to close the template. We're going to go to the actual one, which is here. Which I mean, you know, that I really shouldn't leave the template. Fine. Stack panel and the text block. Alright, so this is the stack panel that we're going to replace. And we're just going to do this. Boom. Okay. And then everything that deals with current, we're going to deal with new record within the current document, which we just did, and now it found it. Okay. Stack panel, text block, we have labeled marked basic data. We don't need that, not at the moment. And then we have interface control type. I think this text block can actually just go away. So New record, interface control type name, and then that's editable. This one's saying it's editable off read only, but we don't need that on this because we're entering a new record. So yes, it's editable. And that's why it doesn't make sense here for that property. There is no record that exists yet. So then we have this. This is why we have to not just whip through it. And then we have control prefix, boom, save. Okay, so we have control type, description, and prefix. And that's what we seem to have. Right. Save. So then when we hit the continue button, which is here, right, continue quick, go to definition. All right, and that's because the code behind of the new form doesn't have anything. And so that means we have to go to the template again, go to the new page, find the code behind, and paste some stuff in. So we have these things. We can go to the code behind here, paste those in, good. And then this is where we would say interface control type, new view model called VM, and we're going to just do a new just like that. Then we would say data context, data context equals VM. Okay, save. That would make sense. That would make sense. Save that. All right. So if we close everything now and then rerun it, we can then get to interface control types, and we should be able to add a record, and we simply call it like text box. Continue. Column. All right, well, that's a problem. So that tells me that the actions tab was never cleared up because we have a Sqlite methods and we have a SQL Server methods. But for this particular thing, we don't need anything SQL Server. So that's gone. Then in Sqlite, when we go to add it, this is essentially inserting this, blah, 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 blah. And it says, hey, if we have this, then use local. Well, I don't think we have a local. We just have the ID, and that's it. So we're going to get rid of this and this. Okay, just like so. And again, same problem. Get rid of that. All right, and then so this inserts it, that selects it, but this is trying to select the local again, which we don't need. So we're just going to copy this and paste it like so. And here we have add with value, this SQLite command, yep. And then it says read, but we don't have a local. So we're going to have to get rid of that. Interface control type ID equals interface control type ID. There we go. This is list, add record 0. If this does not equal 0, then action completed is true. And that's right, except we're just going to replace it with this. So we'll knock out the local indicator. Okay. Now, how much did we hose by deleting a bunch of stuff? Probably something. Okay. So here it says, hey, add it to the SQL Server. Well, we're not doing that. There is no SQL Server. All right. And then we can go to our error list and go to the next one, which is here, and this is download. Well, we're not going to download either because there's nothing to download and there's nothing to upload. Okay. So because there's nothing to download, nothing to upload, we should be able to go to our interface control list view where we have those buttons and we can get rid of them. This one here, which is the download button, and this one here, which is the upload button, we can simply eliminate them. Okay, just like that, they're gone. Good. And then that means these events can also be gone. Okay, we can save everything, and we should be able to build it now. Okay, and it has built. Perfect. Now we can go to our project, run it, and see what happens. So we can go to our interface. Oops, so no, back up. Control types. All right, we don't have a record here. So we're gonna say text box txb underscore continue. Unique constraint failed. Interface control type ID. Really? It has 0. I think we can go to this. It has an auto increment. All right. So if it has an auto increment, we just shouldn't be providing one. So let's go to our actions again. And we're trying to insert a value to this. We don't want to insert a value to this because that's not necessary. It's going to give us a value from that. So we just have to remove that field. So save all, try again. And then that also means the IDs that is 0 is not appearing. So that's a different problem. When we go to select interface control types, which is here, it has a filter in here to greater than 0. We're going to make that greater than or equal to 0. And that should allow us to see the one record we've already put in. Yep. So we do have a text box. Fantastic. If we hit edit now, we have save, deletes over here, we can then get rid of it. Okay, now it's gone. And if we hit add, we can call it a text box again and do txb underscore. Okay, continue. What's wrong? Unique constraint failed. Control type name. Text box money. Okay. So my guess is, now this one's still coming back. Okay, so this says ID 6, but in our table, we jump from 0 to 6, that's all fine. This one's marked deleted, even though it's not really deleted. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to switch this one to a 1, and then we're going to mark this one to a 0. Okay, and we're going to commit that. Save. All right, refresh. Good. So we have TXBs, we have text box, and we have text box money. Again, same sort of thing. We have record deleted, we have deleted by. That's all fine. Record modified wasn't taking the name properly, which is fine, but we'll fix that. So we have that, which is good. So if we hit apply, we now have record 1 and record 6, both for text boxes, one for text box text and one for text box money. But those are technically just different formats, not different controls. So the delete button up here is visible, even though it's, I think that should be fixed. Can't be edited, but that's all fine. So all right, one thing at a time, right? Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, so I am back. I just, I don't know if that viewer counter is accurate or not. There's 2 people here apparently, which is cool if you are. Some food. So,